Hello, hello. Yep, everybody's good.
All right, let's go.
Going back.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Bruce hasn't gotten stoned yet today, so, everything's
Going
not...
out of town, and I'm teaching people how to...
Everything's not functioning properly. I am your host, Sam Randazzo. I am joined today by... Everybody in the chat's going to be so pissed about this, but I am joined today by only one of my lovely co-hosts, and it's none other than our very own Mr. Zolo, Mike Palazzolo.
Blessed.
Behind the computer, as always, absolutely just hammering his own dick with his hand. It's Bruce the Tugboat Venditti.
How you doing?
See, we're not sugarcoating anything today. It's playoff time. We're full force. It's all going to be raw. It's all going to be right out there. We're going to make our playoff picks.
As Old Dirty Bastard of Wu-Tang once said, "Ooh, baby, I like it raw."
That's where we're at today.
Maybe I like it raw.
We're channeling our inner Wu-Tang today. You may have noticed by now that Uncle Sam is not here. We would like to give a nice happy birthday shout out to Marissa,
Happy birthday, Marissa.
my lovely cousin,
Feliz cumpleaños.
who requested the Cheesecake Factory this evening.
Ooh, and that's close to him, isn't
It's
it?
right there, yeah. 10 minutes, yeah. So
I've never been to the Livonia Cheesecake Factory or the 12 Oaks Cheesecake
You haven't?
Factory. Never been.
Not bad, not great. It's not one of the better Cheesecake Factories.
My favorite bullshit cookie cutter restaurant of all time, like chain, stupid, fucking annoying restaurant ever, is Grand Lux.
Yes, Grand Lux is like Cheesecake Factory that's been injected with Bruce. What's a good steroid
A good steroid?
that makes you real good, real big, real quick?
Tren?
Yeah. So
D-ball?
Grand Lux is Cheesecake Factory on trend. Leon, what's up with the shirt? I don't know. We're not playing any fucking games today. That's
What
what's
is it,
up with
4th of July?
Nothing screams winter storm warning quite like a 4th of July shirt.
a 4th of July Hawaiian button down that I bought from a up north Walmart. That's it.
Bet.
That's where we're at today. It's blizzard-like conditions outside. It's cold. It's rainy. It's snowy, but we're still here, and we're fucking ready to go. We got news today. We've got coaching carousel today. There was a name that we forgot to talk about in regards to the coaching carousel on whatever day it was, Wednesday, that I'm shocked we forgot about that came up today. We have playoff picks. It's going to be very Yes.
I won last week, by the way.
What do you mean you won?
12.
You picked 12 games last week? How many did I get? 10?
Games. You got 9. Uncle Sam got 8. Zolo got 9.
How did you pick 12 games?
He probably went chalk.
Did you?
I chose Cleveland.
See,
They lost.
Hold on.
anyways.
Yeah, they did lose. Hold on.
Bruce.
You wanna...
So
I
yeah.
chose Green Bay. You guys all took Chicago.
Ah.
There's that.
He usually, if we all agree on something, he just picks against us, and that's why he wins.
Me and Zolo were the only ones to take the Giants.
Okay. Good afternoon. We're back.
Rant.
Let's get into it. Zolo, any weekend plans outside of the obvious on Sunday?
No. Might be stuck playing video games. Snow is supposed to stop like soon, right?
Well, it's going to be a rain, snow.
Is
mix
it? Can we
through
do
the
tipped
night.
weather?
Tipped weather. From what Bruce, this is a perfect segment.
And then I know it's too warm tomorrow.
Green screen.
It's too warm tomorrow for the snow to accumulate. I know that.
Correct. It's going to be shitty until tomorrow night, from what I heard.
No plans. I'm excited to watch playoffs. If you guys want to watch the playoff games, please let me know.
Rain will start about 8 o'clock.
Tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
That's
warm.
good. That's
So
good.
it'll just be rain and shit. But either way,
Do you have any plans?
I have a dinner tonight, dinner tomorrow, and then
Hold on, Uncle Sal's in the chat.
I don't believe that. I don't know what he believes or doesn't believe. Either way, dinner tonight, dinner tomorrow night. It's Elizabeth's 25th birthday. Birthday shout out to Elizabeth.
Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
That is tomorrow.
Blessed.
So we're going to have to go out and celebrate that. And then Sunday, if I am not at the game, which is still TBD, I will be hunkering down all day. and sitting in front of the TV, which I'm actually very excited for. Either way, I'm excited to go. Shout out to Taylor in the chat. Dinner tonight is at Layla. Dinner tomorrow is at Oak and Real. So a double downtown. Unless I go outside and the weather's just so shitty tonight that we're going to stay here and
Cook.
I might whip up some carbonara. So I guess we'll see. Either way, Bruce, are you excited for the game Sunday?
Fuck it. I've been waiting all week for this week to just be over because I'm so excited. So excited.
Okay. Coaching news. Let's get right into it. Bruce, hit us with the news. Okay. First piece of news that's kind of breaking at the moment. Washington head football coach, University of Washington head football coach, Kalen DeBoer. Did I get that right?
You did.
Has accepted the head coaching job at Alabama. He will be Nick Saban's replacement, leaving Washington. They have a meeting set up with the team tonight where he can break the news, I guess.
What a shit week for those kids.
Yeah. Lose the national championship and lose your head coach all in the same week. A bunch of guys are already entering the transfer portal, so that's how, in this day and age, a college coach is leaving essentially once you start to see everybody on the team enter the transfer portal. So, big news. Do you like the hire for Alabama?
Yes. I like the hire. I don't like the fit. I don't think Kalen DeBoer is a fit for the SEC. I think he's like the exact opposite of what they're looking for. And there's always a thing. It's going to happen with Jerod Mayo in New England. It's going to happen to Kalen DeBoer. It's going to happen for whoever takes over for Pete Carroll. You don't want to be the guy after the guy.
Yeah.
You never want to be the guy after the guy. And if you're taking over for the best football coach ever in college football history and Nick Saban, tough shoes to fill. And love Kalen DeBoer. I think what he does is a little more Big Ten. It's a little more West Coast run and gun. I don't think he's a fit in the SEC. He's never coached in the South. He's never really recruited the South well. He comes from South Dakota and then University of Indiana and then Fresno State and then Washington. So all of his roots are Midwest and then West. And I don't know if he's a fit there. And I think maybe they're just buying their time for – it should have been Dan Lanning, who's the Oregon coach, who was actually a GA at Alabama 5 or 6 years ago. There's a number of options. I mean, Dabo, they don't want him in Tuscaloosa, but Dabo went to school at Alabama. I feel like there's other names, and they just rushed this maybe. That being said, I think Kalen DeBoer is an excellent coach. And if Harbaugh left, that's who I wanted for Michigan was Kalen DeBoer. Good hire, not a good fit, but let's see. I mean, he's got a lot of resources he could work with.
Okay, as far as college coaching goes, and then we'll leave it at this for today. At this point now that we're, I think, 3 days into this cycle, essentially, almost a week into the NFL coaching cycle, 5 days into the college coaching cycle, do we think that Harbaugh is going to stay now?
So I waver on this, and you're asking the wrong person. Up until this week, I thought he was staying. Right now, I still think he's going, but the way this process has turned out, you're probably not going to hear anything until Sunday because they have their big parade tomorrow. They have a rally at Chrysler afterward, and I think he's enjoying this, and people think they know about Harbaugh. Oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. No one knows shit. His family doesn't even know because he doesn't know. But I do think he's going to start entertaining the offers and the calls on Sunday. And you'll know more about Harbaugh Watch probably on Monday. That's my guess. As soon as Sunday, probably Monday. I still think he's going to go because he accomplished what he needed to accomplish. But, the weirder things have happened. He could stay.
The run it back might the run it back does run strong.
Everyone at Ohio State other than he's going to be the number 3 or number 4 pick. Other than Marvin Harrison, everyone at Ohio State is running it back. They had an okay recruiting class. They had a good transfer portal class that they're bragging about. Travion Henderson's coming back. Denzel Burke announced he was coming back yesterday. Emeka Ibuka announced he was coming back. And the big one is JT Tuimoloau, who I wanted the Lions to get at the end of the first round. He's one of the best pass rushers in the draft. He's coming back. So they're running it back. They have enough money to run it back. Michigan's money is endless, and people are rock hard after winning a title. So they have the money to run it back with all of their eligible players if they want. And they can work the transfer portal for all the kids transferring from Alabama, all the kids transferring from Washington if they want to do that. We'll see. Harbaugh's got it made if he wants to stay. He's got it made in the sun. So we'll see what he ends up wanting to do.
All right, let's switch gears. Let's get into this, the pro coaching carousel talk. Before we do that, there's a big piece of news today out of Baltimore. They have designated tight end Mark Andrews to return off of IR just in time to get a week of practice in essentially before their next playoff game with the first round bye. That's a big, big, big ad for them right now.
That's the rich getting richer.
Yeah. That's right now, especially when you put Mark Andrews back into the equation, it's hard not to look at them and just think that they're going to run through a battered Miami, a Flacco-led Cleveland, a Kansas City team that's playing their worst football in the last 8 years. Like, Baltimore right now looks like they're going to run through the AFC.
Their pass catchers have gotten better too. Like, I thought Flowers' best football came at the end of the year. I thought Isaiah Likely was excellent in all of those big games that they needed to win. Odell has gotten stronger as the year's gone on. They're also getting Devin Duvernay back, if I remember correctly.
He's off of IR as well.
The rich get richer.
So, obviously, if you're in Detroit and you look outside right now, you can see that we are having some awful weather. And it looks like it's going to have some sort of effect on this weekend's games. So, Buffalo plays Pittsburgh in the first of the Sunday games, 1 o'clock on Sunday. And the weather predictions for Buffalo on Sunday right now, right over the stadium. More than 12 inches of snow projected.
I got 12 inches for you. Sorry.
From Sunday morning all the way until Sunday night, it is going to be essentially a whiteout. The Bills have already released statements saying that travel is going to be difficult to near impossible getting to Buffalo on Sunday. The lake effect, snow, and strong winds will go from Saturday night all the way through till Sunday night. I mean, not only is it going to be next to impossible to get there from Pittsburgh, there was a point last year where players in Buffalo were having hard times getting to the stadium with all the lake effect snow. Mm-hmm. And outside of that, why does it feel like that's the little opening that Pittsburgh would need to maybe pull off this upset?
I don't know. They're going to have to be able to effectively run the ball. And I don't think the snow is going to allow them to do that. And the way Buffalo's defense is set up, they want you to run on them because they have their assets are in the front seven. So they have enough pieces in the front seven. I don't know. I don't think the window's there. But I'm lower on Pittsburgh than all of you. So
that is true. That game, Josh Allen interceptions, I don't know. Pittsburgh's defense, even though it's a watered down version of Pittsburgh's defense, without TJ Watt. That 10-point line that game was, it did drop to 9 today, but either way, I think that could be a little bit of an opening there. The other weather story out of this game is the Dolphins-Chiefs game at Arrowhead.
Soon.
That game's going to get very interesting due to the fact that it's the Saturday night game. And this is the weather report for Kansas City on Saturday night. 30 to 40 mile per hour gusting winds.
The Bills are asking for fans to help shovel the snow.
Snow. 30 to 40 mile per hour winds.
I'm still stuck in Orchard Park. I'm not even talking about Kansas City right now. The Bills have sent out a notice to their fans that they need people to help shovel the snow before the game tomorrow.
See, it's cooler when people just did it. To do it, to help their players, them asking for the people to do it, that's kind of...
What does that mean? There's so much snow that they need help beyond...
Fans were going to do it anyway.
Snow shovelers needed at Highmark Stadium for Wild Game versus Steelers. So, yes, they are. Asking anyone over age 18 with proper working papers interested in shoveling snow inside the stadium to come to Highmark Stadium starting at 10 p.m. Saturday night.
Yeah.
And be part of the team to get the venue ready for the hometown Bills wildcard game. The rate of pay is $20 an hour.
Wow.
Bruce, I'd get in the car and start heading towards Buffalo right fucking now.
You could be there in 5 hours.
Yeah, get up there and grab a shovel, $20 an hour. Fucking A, maybe we should all go shovel snow up at Highmark this weekend. Switching back to Arrowhead. Winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour. A game time temperature forecasted at -4 degrees with the wind chill between -27 and -35.
Your uncle just
Sal Signorelli in the chat says send Bruce there.
We're all on the same page, Uncle Sam. We're all on the same
you
page.
should go there. Even your torn meniscus.
So a wind chill of -30. Actually, it has some implications there. It could be the coldest NFL game on record. Right now, that's -13 at Lambeau in 1967. So if somehow that temperature creeps down a little bit more, the wind chill is -48 below that day. So that, I mean, in my opinion, that game's going to be easy to pick due to that.
Thank you.
I think the Dolphins are going to come out with their fucking hair on fire.
You do, eh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
We'll get there. Coaching carousel. The Patriots, just one day after announcing they were mutually parting ways with Bill Belichick. We haven't even discussed this yet. But yes, yesterday, the Patriots... the Patriots and Bill Belichick parted ways after 24 years. Belichick, 6-time Super Bowl winning coach. Probably one of... Oh, excuse me. He won 8 Super Bowls?
He won 2 and for the Giants as a defensive coordinator.
Right. Probably the best coach in the history of pro football.
I'd say so.
Has parted ways with the Patriots. Now, there's been a lot of stories already coming out about where his next landing spot will be. Belichick born in Nashville, so instantly that was linking him with Titans. There's been a lot of talk about Washington, but a new candidate has come up as a front-running favorite for Washington today. The Chargers made a lot of sense to us, so we really don't know what Bill's thinking at the moment, but the Patriots have already hired their new coach, and it was already pretty much set in stone before the season. Jerod Mayo, the former linebacker for the Patriots and linebackers coach, is now the new head coach of the New England Patriots. And the Patriots made this easy because essentially they told the league before this season started, hey, the heir apparent to Bill Belichick, and if he does leave, is Jerod Mayo. That essentially abolishes them from going through the hiring process.
It satisfies all the rules. The Rooney Rule. You get a minority candidate that you don't. They didn't even interview him probably, and you also get to interview someone in house, which you're also supposed to do. So it satisfies all the criteria, and apparently it was baked into his contract.
Correct.
Jerod Mayo's contract, which is, I've never heard of that. And these fucking people on TV pretend they know all this shit and everything that's going on, and none of them knew that Jerod Mayo had a clause in his contract that he becomes the head coach if Belichick steps down.
Yeah.
No one knew that until today.
So there you go. That's Patriots news, done and done there. And Matthew Judon has started on Twitter. He said he's the honorary Patriots GM at the moment, and he said he is going to recruit the 50 top free agents to come to New England in the offseason. So, God bless him. Everybody's trying to put New England on their back right now. Jerod Mayo, what are your thoughts on that hiring? I know he's a player's guy. I know he's been Belichickian since he left college. Do you think it's a good fit?
It seems there's been some good luck with young defensive former players. It happened with, I talked about the other day, it happened with DeMeco Ryans. He's lucked out. Antonio Pierce, who if it doesn't get on if he doesn't get the Raiders job, it seems like Antonio Pierce is a high candidate for other jobs, especially the Titans. But there seems to be good luck with defensive former players, and I don't love it. I don't love it, but the Patriots love it, and there's some smart people in that organization. I still think so, even though they fucked us over. I still think that there's some smart people. I don't think Bob Kraft's an idiot. And listen to this name. Do you know who the coach was before Bill Belichick? I think you do.
It was Pete Carroll.
It's Pete Carroll. Do you know who the coach was before Pete Carroll?
Bill Parcells.
That's some pretty crazy company for one Jerod Mayo, and one would think that they get their hires right. Of course, Bill Parcells didn't do much there. I think he might have went to one Super Bowl. I don't know. Bill Parcells didn't do much there, and Pete Carroll certainly didn't do much there. He was only there 2 years before he lost his job. But those are big shoes to fill. And again, it goes back to I like Jerod Mayo. Maybe he could be a good coach. I love what Brian Flores did in Miami and Vrabel. It seems the Patriots' younger defensive assistants who actually played football, wink, wink, not Matt Patricia. It seems they've actually gone on and done something. Again, you don't want to be the guy after the guy. And same reason I think Kalen DeBoer is going to struggle and eventually work his way out of Alabama. I think Jerod Mayo, without some major help, major assets, is going to struggle in Boston, or in Foxborough, excuse me.
Angie, bosses don't wear shorts. Dons don't wear shorts, excuse me. Anyways.
You ever wear shorts on a plane before?
Yes, I have.
I've never done that.
Why?
There's not many instances where I'm wearing shorts.
There's been times where I've left the beach in Florida and gotten straight in the car to go to the airport and just go in the beater and shorts situation.
Fair.
It's happened on more than one occasion, as bad as that sounds. So the Washington Commanders job, that has been one that's been highly talked about the last few days. And there's a name that we forgot about on Wednesday that I wanted to see what your thoughts were on.
Please.
The front runner for the job right now, according to people close to the team, is Cliff Kingsbury.
I never thought Cliff Kingsbury was bad. I just don't know if he has, I need to run a whole team capability. And the guy that took over for Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona, Jonathan Gannon, has been respected for how he's commanded the locker room and how he's taken over for a full team. I love the concept of Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator with good pieces. He's probably licking his chops to get a quarterback. But yeah, I just think there's better candidates. I think Jim Harbaugh would be a better fit than Cliff Kingsbury there. I think Bill Belichick would be a better fit than Cliff Kingsbury. What about you bring Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator and have him run that offense and focus only on that offense, those pieces, those assets, and have him get his quarterback in the top 3 picks or pick 2. And then you bring in an actual head coach to do the rest of it. I like that a little bit more. I don't like the concept of Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach. What do you think?
You have a new ownership group there. You've got... See, this is the thing, right? Jerod Mayo, the hire today, he's 37 years old. He's a month younger than Sean McVay. So now he'll be the youngest coach in the NFL, right? And I feel like a lot of these teams are going to start to go in that direction now. And Kingsbury's that young guy. He already has a little bit of experience under his belt, so he knows what to do, what not to do. Do I think it's a great fit? No. Personally, I don't think it's a great fit. But I think that it's a likely hire. I don't love it, but I think it's a likely... to me, Jerod Mayo to the Patriots makes more sense than Kingsbury to Washington.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%.
Pete Carroll was asked if he will coach again in the NFL. His response was, I don't know, but I've got plenty of energy.
It was dumb for them to fire him. Forget what Uncle Sam says. I fucking disagree. Pete Carroll is one of the best coaches ever at all levels of football. He's one of the most... Uncle Sam makes up this scenario about Russell Wilson sometimes. Pete Carroll's players love Pete Carroll outside of a handful of guys that didn't buy in. And you could see the way his players went to bat for him, and supposedly he got fired because he went to bat for his players and the ownership didn't like it. So I thought that was a mistake. I thought firing Vrabel was a mistake. If Pete Carroll wants to coach somewhere, I don't think he has much left in him. But yeah, if there's a program that makes sense for 3 or 4 years, or he can bridge to a coach in waiting for someone else. I just don't know which of these teams is that. I don't know which of these teams is like ready-made. We're ready to win now. We just fired our coach. Help us for 3 or 4 years while we breed a successor. I don't know which of those teams have that in them.
I don't know if there is one.
Yeah.
At the moment, especially one that would roll with Pete Carroll.
I think all of these teams that need a coach are for the most part far off. I think that Vegas needs a few assets and they need a quarterback. Seattle is a fit for Pete Carroll. I don't know why the hell they fired him. They're close. They just need the quarterback. The Falcons need the quarterback and then someone to change the culture. The Chargers is a full rebuild still, in my opinion. Washington might be a quarterback away. Maybe Washington's a fit for Pete Carroll.
Maybe. I just don't think that the new ownership there is going to go. If you're going to go Pete Carroll, you're going to go Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean they're similar.
Carroll, Sam Howell, whatever.
They're going to draft a quarterback. They're going to take a quarterback.
The more and more I thought about the Belichick to Atlanta thing, the more and more sense it started.
Yeah, it makes tons of sense.
Makes tons of sense. I didn't love it at first, but it makes a perfect
and
sense.
There's a theory that Arthur Blank went really hard after Bill Parcells, didn't get him. And there was another name too that Arthur Blank went after over the last 20 years that he didn't land. Another fish essentially, and Bill Belichick is like the one. It's the holy grail, and that's not a bad fit for Belichick. I mean, I think that there's assets there defensively, and same drill. Go get your quarterback and go get a fun offensive coordinator, and that team could probably win the division next year.
Before we get into our playoff picks, injury news: Rams tight end Tyler Higbee practiced in a limited fashion today. He is questionable going into the Lions game on Sunday. A.J. Brown did not practice for the Eagles today. He is currently questionable going into Sunday's game, but in a very diva-like move, he deactivated his Twitter and wiped his Instagram of all Eagles pictures, hashtags, everything. A.J. Brown wipes all social media of everything Philadelphia related.
When your quarterback's unhealthy too, and the way things have gone there, I know you disagree. I wouldn't be shocked if the Bucks end up pulling that one.
No,
I wouldn't be shocked.
You'll be surprised here when we do our picks in a few minutes, because
I think you will.
I think that Philadelphia right now, there is a lot more going on there than we know about, right? I hate to sound like Uncle Sam, but I think that there's a lot of shit there that's running really deep right now.
Jason Kelsey, who seems like a cool dude, was so agitated when Travis was ball busting him about the Eagles' recent woes on the podcast that he just ghosted. He just signed off. He just closed out of Zoom.
Speaking of Travis Kelsey, he was asked this week about the possibility of him retiring. Obviously, this is probably Kelsey's worst year in our recent memory, at least statistically, and there's been a lot of noise surrounding him. But he came out and said that he is not even contemplating retirement at this time, that he still loves the game of football and loves competing. He has no reason to not keep playing. He loves the challenge it gives him every day and has no desire to stop anytime soon.
It's weird to me because he looks so checked out.
I know.
He's looked so checked out the entire year. And a guy like Tom Brady never looked checked out with whoever he was fucking. Bridget Moynihan, Giselle. Travis Kelsey doesn't seem like the type of guy that just because you're with Taylor Swift doesn't mean you're going to check out. Like, he's there. He's healthy. He's showing up to games and practices. I just think he doesn't like the state of the team. And that's a team that's like going to be shit or get off the pot in the offseason. They're going to need to figure out whatever the hell's going on. Maybe Bieniemy doesn't last in Washington and they end up bringing him back in. I don't know. I don't know what they need. Of course, they need some wide receivers. It's weird. Whole thing's weird to me.
Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis has been ruled out for their game against Pittsburgh this weekend, per the team. Khalil Shakir has really stepped up as the third guy there, and he actually had a huge game last week for them. I don't think if you're the Bills that Gabe Davis is so on and off week to week that I don't think that's a massive loss for Buffalo. I think it'll open up Stephon Diggs' target share a little bit more, and Shakir is going to be a big asset in that game for them. Outside of that, I think that might have covered most of the news. Is there anything else you want to touch on, or should we just go?
I mean, there's more injuries, but we can go game by game on the injury report.
Well,
Like, there's some injuries here.
We'll talk. Well, yeah, Sam
Yeah.
Laporta, questionable. I was going to save that one for.
Yeah, you're good. We'll save it for the games.
The one that I wanted to touch on before we go is yesterday, Jalen Hurts was asked if he has attempted to throw a ball since he injured his finger last week, where Marcus Mariota came in and finished the game for Philadelphia. He said that he had not. Obviously, he left the game, attempted to go back into the game, and he said afterwards that going back into the game was not the best idea. That's going to be an issue, especially because if we're going to jump back to weather real quick, there's a 96% chance of heavy rain and thunderstorms projected in Tampa.
Why is the weather
Or
so
the-
fucked all week?
Fucked. Just to throw wrenches in left and right. Oh, and also, did you see the whole how Pat McAfee canceled Aaron Rodgers on Monday
And then brought him
had
back
on the show
Wednesday.
on Tuesday or
Yeah.
Wednesday, whatever it was.
He canceled him Tuesday and then brought him back yesterday. The whole there's that you want to know where some fuckery's going on is with that. Is the whole Pat McAfee dynamic at ESPN.
Yeah, that was
'Cause
never going to work.
It certainly seems like there's a lot of people that want him to fail. And I don't know what the fuck Aaron Rodgers is spouting off on Jimmy Kimmel for. I don't know what the issue is there, but Pat McAfee's stupid for letting Aaron Rodgers be the one to derail all his shit, but I think he's trying to prove like I can get away with what I want at this point. And I don't know. I didn't realize a lot of people don't like Pat McAfee.
A lot of people don't like him, and I don't understand why. Because I mean,
I think he's great.
I do too.
I think his
love him
content's great. I think his show's great. I think he has good stuff to say for the most part.
100%.
I liked him, but he got boring.
I don't even think he got boring because ESPN has a different standard than this. Uncle Sam wouldn't work at ESPN. If ESPN came down here right now, you want to know who'd be the odd one out? Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam's like Boomer.
Yeah, they couldn't put him on. If you tried to put Uncle Sam on ESPN, the SEC would have our show off the air in about 15 seconds.
Why? I didn't say anything wrong. Why?
All right, let's get into the picks.
Whoa, whoa.
All right. Playoff picks, wild card round, super wild card weekend. We have Saturday football. We have Monday night football. We have a full slate of Sunday games. We're going to go through and pick this one by one. There's a lot to break down here, so bear with us. First and foremost, Saturday at 4:30, live from NRG Stadium, where the Michigan Wolverines have just won the national championship earlier in the week.
That play was just a shithole, by the way. You asked how the stadium was?
Yeah.
That was a shithole.
Dump.
It wasn't bad. It was just okay. The location sucks if you've ever been to Houston.
Have not been to Houston.
It's like South Houston, so the location sucks. And it's I could do a whole podcast on stadiums and sports venues. We're lucky here in Detroit that our venues, when you walk into them, the playing surface is below street level. So our stadiums don't look like skyscrapers, but in most parts of the world, when you see a stadium, the playing surface is not below street level. Street level is the playing surface. So when you walk into a stadium to get to like the 100 level concourse, you got to go up. You got to go up to go back down. And I was already late to the game, and I had to fucking walk up a bunch of ramps and stairs, and the entrances didn't make fucking sense. It was okay. The stadium was okay. I'm sure it would be fun with a retractable roof, which I don't know if the roof's going to be open there this weekend. Obviously, it was tornadoing for the game I went to, but it's my spiel on Energy Stadium.
So
We do that.
Cleveland 2-point favorite in this one going into Houston. Over under 44.5. Houston, the 4 seed, winner of the AFC South. Cleveland, the 5 seed, are the top wild card seed. Go ahead.
First things first, Chris in the chat. Shout out Chris. Shout out Arab Fantasy. He wants us to do player props for the first time ever, and I'm with him.
Done.
Let's do
I'm
some player props.
1,000% on it.
I know we have. Chris is crazy. He's in law school. That's why he doesn't know when we do player props. But let's do player props. My first player prop for this game, and you could parlay the two of those. You want to do an SGP here? Nico Collins almost had 200 yards last week. Noah Brown comes back, which is only going to alleviate Nico Collins. It's only going to leave Nico Collins more open. And he's going up against a banged-up Denzel Ward.
Correct.
Denzel Ward is playing for Cleveland, but he's banged up. And it's Michigan and Ohio State at quarterback or at wide receiver and cornerback, which I love. I think Nico Collins should have enough to get open. So I'm going to parlay Nico Collins anytime with the hottest tight end in football, David Njoku. The Texans have historically struggled against against tight ends. Their linebackers have struggled this year against tight ends as well. Tight ends have lit them up. Evan Ingram let them up a couple times. Mo Alley Cox had a touchdown against them a couple weeks ago. I'm going to parlay Njoku anytime with Nico Collins anytime. And picking the game, I said it the other day, the Browns aren't quite team of destiny, but their defense is so good. And I think that a solid defensive front like Cleveland has is going to make Stroud struggle. So I'm taking Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland outright. Texans are favored. My Texans are -2.
Cleveland -2.
I'm taking Cleveland to cover the -2. I think they win by a field goal. They have a great field goal kicker as well. Dustin Hopkins, right?
Hopkins is out.
Oh, who's their kicker for this week?
He's been out.
He's been out.
Hopkins tore a hamstring, so he was done.
He broke his cunt.
I don't know who their kicker is.
Uncle Sal in the chat says Cleveland the over. I like it. I think Joe Flacco is going to be able to muster more points than we think. The only thing that scares me is the Texans are very good at home. The Texans are good at home. They score more points at home. They play better defense at home. I just think the Browns have enough to keep this game close and will ultimately pull away at the end of the game. So give me the Browns to win, the Browns to cover. I like the over as well, and I'm parlaying Nico Collins and David Njoku anytime.
I'm going to take the Houston Texans to win this game.
I hope you're right, by the way.
Cover the -2. I'm going to take the
Hope
over.
you're right.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Personally, I think it's going to come down to this. All right. Stroud this year has shown that he can be really, really, really good. And as good as Flacco has been playing, Flacco turns the ball over quite a bit still. I think that ultimately Joe Flacco will finally show himself. Finally, I've been saying this for a month now.
You've just been preying on his
I am preying on Joe Flacco's downfall, and I think ultimately he'll have the ball in his hands to win that game, and he will throw a big pick late, and everybody will understand why Joe Flacco was never elite, and the Browns will see themselves out of the playoffs. I'm going to take Houston to cover, Houston to win. I'm going to take the over. My prop bet is Noah Brown over 46 receiving yards. Some have him at 45.5, some have him 46.5. I'm just going to go 40, or I'm going to go over 46. Give or take a yard. I don't give a shit. And I'm obviously going Nico Collins anytime touchdown. The David Njoku one, love that too. I wanted to differentiate it a little bit, but the Nico Collins anytime touchdown for me is the lock.
You have options, is what we're trying to tell you. You hit on something good. Whoever wins the turnover battle probably wins this game.
100%.
Flacco has been extreme. He's gotten more efficient as time has gone on, and the Texans tend to turn the ball over really well at home. Derek Stingley looks like a different player at home than on the road. And then the counter to that is Stroud is also very good at not turning the ball over at home, particularly at home. So whoever wins the turnover battle is going to have a really good line to win this game.
Flacco, 8 picks in 5 games. Stroud,
8 picks on the season.
5 picks.
5 picks
in
on the
15
season.
games.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the difference maker there. So give me Houston.
I hope you're right.
I really hope I'm right.
I hope you're right.
Because I only had Houston winning 4 games this year, and now that they're in the playoffs, I honestly have a soft spot for this team right now, and I don't know why. Just like Uncle Sam does for Joe Flacco, because for some reason
supposed to be at dinner right now.
Uncle Sam celebrates mediocrity. That's why he loves Joe Flacco.
No.
Why? What do you mean they're mediocre? They're not mediocre. They won 12 games. Why?
He's just sitting in a
There's
Cheesecake
11
Factory
games.
with his
11
phone
games.
out.
Moving on, next up, we have the Miami Dolphins heading to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. Oh, Uncle Sam took the Browns, obviously, right?
Yeah, Browns in the over.
Browns in the
I have all his picks. I'll tell you. His
Okay. Miami
the chat.
heading to Arrowhead to play Kansas City. This line has moved. It opened up at Kansas City as a 2.5-point favorite. Kansas City now a 4.5-point favorite with the extremely cold temperatures coming in. The over-under dropped from, I believe it was like 50, 49.5 to 50, down to 44.
This is the Fraud Bowl, by the way.
This is the Sunday night Fraud Bowl at 8:10 p.m.
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Both these teams 11-6. Kansas City won their division. Miami obviously lost last week to Buffalo and dropped to a 6 seed. Injuries from this game. Miami's whole defense is pretty much hurt. Jalen Waddle questionable, Javon Holland questionable, Raheem Mostert questionable, Deshaun Elliott questionable. It's both starting safeties. Xavier Howard officially out. As far as Kansas City goes, Kadarius Toney is questionable. Hopefully he doesn't play. It'll be a good thing for them. And not really too many other big names for Kansas City. The Waddle injury for me is a massive, massive issue in this game. The Mostert one, obviously if Achane plays well, you don't miss Mostert that much. But the two-headed monster, especially against Kansas City's defense, would be nice. Tyreek returns to Arrowhead in the worst year that the Chiefs have been having. I don't love the cold weather, right? I picked Buffalo next week because of Miami's injuries. I was inclined to take Kansas City this week because of the injuries. The weather doubled down on that for me. But every time I think I'm going to take Kansas City in this game, I stop and I think back to just how disappointing they've been all year and how there has not been 1 point all year where Kansas City really, really looked like Kansas City. If you go through it, I mean, they lost to the Raiders. They lost to Buffalo. New England gave them a decent game. I'm going to stick with my team that I said was going to be in the Super Bowl out of the AFC from the beginning here, and I'm going to take Miami. I don't think that Miami's going to win this game by a lot. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to take the under. I think Achane's got to put the team on his back. You know Tyreek's coming in fired up. And there's a part of me that agrees with Zolo. Miami's going to come in with a big chip on their shoulder. Because that was Miami's division that they had run away with 6 weeks ago, and now they ended up losing it. I'm going to take Miami to cover and win, obviously, but I'm going to take the under 44 points. And I hope I'm right, and I hope that Pat Mahomes gets bounced in the first round. Nothing would make me happier, but you have Arrowhead, you have bad weather, you have Miami battered and banged up. This is the one game of the week I would stay as far away from as I possibly could. For me, player prop in this game, I'm going to take Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown score.
I love that. For a lot of the reasons you said, I'm taking the lazy way out. I'm also going with Miami. I just think like this is Miami's a little more battle tested, even though they're more injured, and I think they're equipped to go in and win in this weather. I really do. They have a couple possession receivers that you can dump the ball to, and if you can get them open downfield, you could do that. They have a better running game. I think Miami's as fraudulent as they've been. I think they're set up to win this, and I still haven't seen shit from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know there's some injuries. I know like Van Ginkel might be injured for Miami.
It's questionable.
There's some issues, and obviously guys died left and right. Phillips, Bradley Chubb. whoever. I just think that there's more potential. Miami's potential, their ceiling is higher in this game. And Tua's played in some big games too, man. Maybe they weren't as cold, but he's played in some big games, and I think he can get it done. The props that I like Rashee Rice over his target share, which I think his targets are 4. Someone will have to look that up for me, but I like Rashee Rice over whatever. If it's 6, I'm taking that. He's come on very nicely as the year's gone on. And I like Tyreek Hill, believe it or not, over 85 receiving.
He's over
yards.
under 5.5. Rashee Rice.
Yeah, so I like Rashee Rice over 5.5. And I like Tyreek Hill's receiving yards over, which I think is 85.5. I think Tyreek Hill's easily going to have 100 yards. I think it's going to be a big possession game for him. There's going to be a lot of dump off screens. And Snead is good. I think the Chiefs corners are very good. I don't think they're good enough to, if Tyreek Hill's in a crossing route or they're getting him open in the flat like they like to do, I don't think they're good enough to stop him in the short yardage situations.
Dark Lumen just exposed himself. How did Dark Lumen know that Salvatore Signorelli was Uncle Sam?
Because we said Uncle Sam's in the chat.
Yeah, he knows. I think he
You
knows.
think he knows?
Yeah, I think he's known that. We've said Uncle Sam, Uncle Sal.
Bruce, what's Uncle Sam's pick in this game?
Kansas City.
And
He said the over.
Kansas City, no. Yeah, so that's essentially what he
Patty Mahomes. It's Patty Mahomes at home.
The road to the Super Bowl goes through Arrowhead. Next up,
Pat Mahomes is cute.
Sunday, 1 o'clock from Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. The Pittsburgh Steelers are playing the Buffalo Bills in what is projected to be the Snow Bowl. Buffalo, a 9.5-point favorite. Over-under now has dwindled down to 34. I'm going to take Buffalo to win this game. I'm going to pull the Uncle Sam. I'm going to go with a Pittsburgh cover. I think it's going to come right down to it. The Pittsburgh offense hasn't impressed me at all still. But their defense could be enough to challenge Josh Allen, especially in a snowy game. Both these teams are going to have to run the ball. I'm going to take the under. Even though it's 34, I'm going to stick with the under. I don't think you might get a passing touchdown out of Buffalo, but both these teams are going to try and keep the ball on the ground as much as possible if it's going to be a fucking blizzard. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to cover. I'm going to take Buffalo to win. I'm going to take the under. And TJ Watt being out, to me, is the difference maker in this game. Because when I saw that weather report, that is a Pittsburgh game. I know it's in Buffalo. I know Buffalo is Snowmageddon, all the above. But that's a game that that's a game Mike Tomlin wins. If TJ Watt's in it, I'm thinking twice about it. But ultimately, I think that Buffalo has enough to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a 10-point win, but I think it's going to be a win. Tyler Rapp out for the Buffalo Bills. Gabe Davis out for the Bills. Rasul Douglas questionable. And then obviously TJ Watt out for the Steelers. But give me Buffalo. Give me a Pittsburgh cover. Give me the under.
Yeah, this game's just too nasty. I like Buffalo. I actually like Buffalo to cover the number. I also like the under. Buffalo's MO since Joe Brady has taken over is just we're gonna fucking pound the ball down your throats. We're gonna run the ball and there's nothing you could do about it. And I think they're gonna run the ball on all facets and there's nothing anyone can do about it. And for that reason, it's gonna leave the Steelers' offense not on the field very often. So prop number 1 that I like is Mason Rudolph under 15.5 pass attempts. I don't think he's gonna pass the ball that many times, even though those receivers have shown out recently. Pass completions, not attempts, pass completions. I think I'm taking the under on his completions. I don't think he goes over 15 completions. And the second prop I like is Josh Allen over 8.5 rushing attempts. His attempts have gone up as he's gotten healthier. The offense flows through the run game. That's how they're protecting him. That's how they're not turning the ball over. And that's why they've won a lot of these games down the stretch. And I think that Josh Allen is going to run a lot in the snow. And he's going to be ready to run a lot in the 100%. Snow. So I like Josh Allen over 8.5 rushing attempts. And I like Mason Rudolph under 15.5 completions. Give me Buffalo. I think this is the clearest game of the weekend, in my opinion. Pittsburgh's the team that doesn't belong. Give me Buffalo and give me the under. And Buffalo to cover, too.
Props for this game for me. Josh Allen rushing touchdown. Khalil Shakir over 35 yards. And also, I like a Jaylen Warren anytime TD if I'm Pittsburgh. Outside of that, I don't like any of the props. You can't bet on
With 2 interceptions.
You can't bet on Stephon Diggs right now. I personally don't know if either quarterback's going to throw the ball enough to facilitate anything there. I'm going to lay off all of it. And at the same time, if you take the Josh Allen under on the yardage, which I don't have it in front of me, but if you do, then he's going to go out and throw for 300 yards. So I would stay away from that and roll mostly on the ground stuff. Josh Allen's going to run one in. Uncle Sam took Pittsburgh and the under in a not very shocking pick for him there. Harris is going to have a good game. Don't forget about Jalen Warren, Uncle Sam. Don't forget about Jalen Warren. Why is Uncle Sam using so many exclamation points right now?
Why? I don't know, but why isn't he at his daughter's dinner, and why is he watching the show?
Tell him what you want to tell him.
Well, I took down his picks for a reason.
Next up.
In the chat.
Sunday at 4:30, live from Jerry World down in Dallas. The Green Bay Packers are heading in to play the Cowboys in an all-American showdown. Dallas 12-5. They're the 2 seed and first in the NFC East. Green Bay 9-8, second in the NFC North. Injuries for this game. Christian Watson questionable for the Packers. Jair Alexander questionable. A.J. Dillon doubtful. For the Cowboys, it's one name on their injury report. Cooper Rush questionable with an illness. So you have a perfectly healthy, fully loaded Cowboys team playing a semi-beat-up Packers team. I mean, realistically, Christian Watson, A.J. Dillon, those are 2 good weapons on offense that they're missing. Jair Alexander, it'd be real nice to have him to go up against some of the, like a Brennan Cooks type and against CeeDee Lamb. That's going to be a big one if he misses. Ultimately, I think I know what's going to happen in this game personally. I'm going to take Dallas. I think Mike McCarthy is coaching for his job right now because if the Cowboys find a way to lose this game at home and get bounced in the wild card round again when they have as much momentum as they do, Mike McCarthy will lose his job without question. I'm going to take Dallas to win by the touchdown. They'll cover. That over-under of 50.5, I'm going to take the over there. For me personally, everybody knows how I feel about the Cowboys in the playoffs and taking a massive shit. And I still think that that's coming. But I think that they're going to make it at least to the divisional round and then take their shit. I think Dallas is going to put up a decent amount of points here. I think Green Bay will hold their own, but ultimately Dallas will win this game by a couple of TDs. Give me Dallas, cover, win, and I'll take the over.
Uncle Sam, by the way, has the Cowboys in the over in this one.
Yes, he does.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win very reluctantly. I think this game is going to be very close. I think the Packers do cover this. They've played teams close. And the Packers have they have a gunslinger. So the Packers have equated to points, especially in recent weeks. And obviously we know the Cowboys equate to points at home. So I like the over in this game. My props, I got a lock prop. This is probably one of my locks of the weekend. Jaden Reed over 50.5 yards. He's going to draw someone good, but the Cowboys corners have struggled, whether it be Deron Bland or Stephon Gilmore, they've struggled with possession receivers. Amon-Ra lit them up. A.J. Brown lit them up a couple times. They struggle with guys that can get open soon and quick. And Jaden Reed has gotten better every game, and he's really hot right now. So I like Jaden Reed over 50.5. And then another guy that's been hot since he's been back over the last month, and he's also gotten better every game, and he loves to beat the shit out of the Cowboys. He scored 4 TDs against them a couple years ago, is El Paso, Texas's own Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones anytime in this game. I think Aaron Jones he's gotten better every week. That being said, I do think the Cowboys ultimately win because they always have some sort of fuckery going on at home. But did you know that no matter what happens, if the Lions win, so you'll know because of the outcome of this game, if the Lions win and the Cowboys lose, the Lions do get a second playoff game next week at home. So if the Cowboys get upset, meaning if the Packers win, okay, it doesn't matter what happens on the Monday night game because that's a 4-5. You'll have a 4-5, which is lower than the Lions' 3 seed, and then you'll have the 7 seed Packers in there. So the Lions will get a second game at home next week. So root for that. Root for the Cowboys to lose, even if that means you'd want to play Philly or Tampa the way 100%. Things are going right now. So we reluctantly are Packers fans this weekend.
My player props in this game, I'm going to take Rico Dowdle as my anytime touchdown scorer for Dallas. Green Bay gives up the 28th most rushing touchdowns to other teams, and they've been utilizing him pretty much the same as Tony Pollard. So I like Rico Dowdle in this game. I think he's going to be a more effective than Pollard, and I think he's going to end up with a TD out of this one. As far as a Packers prop goes, I like Jordan Love over 1.5 interceptions against this ball. I mean, realistically, Cowboys been ball hawking all year, and if they smell blood in the water, they're gonna pick on Jordan Love. I'm gonna take him over 1.5 interceptions. Next up,
Go to Monday first.
Monday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles, or what's left of them, are heading down to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers, who won the NFC South at 9-8. Eagles 11-6, second in the NFC East. Injuries. A.J. Brown, obviously questionable. We already talked about that. Reed Blankenship, questionable for them as well. For Tampa Bay, Tristan Wirfs, questionable with the flu. Baker Mayfield, questionable with an ankle injury. I think we can all pretty much say he'll play. Philly, a 3-point favorite. Over-unders 43.5. Zolo, go ahead.
This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. If they were playing any other, I didn't like how Tampa looked the last 2 weeks. I didn't like it. I think there was a lot of issues with Baker being unhealthy. But they're getting a team. It's hard to beat a team twice. It's really hard to beat a team twice. And they're getting the Eagles while they're reeling right now. That being said, it's still like, even though the Eagles got all this agita going on with them, it's still like, it's still the Eagles going to Tampa, and I think they're going to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. So it makes this game really tough to pick. I'll tell you what I love to start. I like the under in this game. I think Tampa hasn't been putting up enough points as of late, and Philly's just banged up. I mean, A.J. Brown might not play. Jalen Hurts' fingers hanging by a thread. The only thing that scares me is if these secondaries get lit up, which has been happening for Philly, but I'm not too worried. I do like the under. Very reluctantly, I'm going to pick Tampa to win. I just think that they're going to have enough juju, and I think bad weather favors Tampa's game more than it favors Philly's game at the moment, because they have the defense to do some damage. And it rained, if I remember correctly, that Monday night game they played week 3 or week 4. I think it rained, and that was DeAndre Swift's coming out party. He had his best game of the year. So I do think the Eagles are going to rely very heavily on Swift. And for that reason, I'm taking Swift anytime touchdown. And I'm going to take the easy way. I'm going to scapegoat on this one as well. And I'm going to take the easy one, which is Mike Evans anytime touchdown as well.
Stole me.
Yeah, you could use it. Yeah, I mean, that's an easy one. Yeah, I was between that and Rashad White, in my opinion, is a top 3 running back in football right now, like an every down back. I like anything Rashad White does. You could take his yards over. I think a lot of the offense is going to go through him. His yards, last I checked, were at like 65.5. I think Rashad White could easily. The way the Eagles defensively are relying too much on their front. When you get into the second level, which is their linebackers, and when you get into their secondary, they're easy to get through. And I could easily see Rashad White, once he gets past that Eagles front, just lighting it up. But they haven't given up a lot of rushing yards, so I want to avoid Rashad White. So give me Mike Evans.
I was going to take Rashad White over on the yardage at 64.5 right now.
Easy.
Especially with all that rain. I'm taking him all day. And then as far as Philly goes, I'm taking Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown scorer on the ground. They'll push him in one time. Even if he can't throw the ball, they'll push him in. They'll push his. If Jalen Hurts was dead, they could put the ball in his corpse's hands and toss him into the end zone at some point. That's probably what they'll end up doing, because this Eagles team is beat to shit. The weather does favor Tampa. Philadelphia is a dumpster fire right now. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like the way Sirianni's handling it. Jalen Hurts is literally a hit away from breaking into pieces. A.J. Brown might not play. I'm going to take Philadelphia to win this game. I'm going to take Philadelphia to cover the 3. I'm going to take the under in this game because all that rain does favor the run game. At the end of the day, Todd Bowles is not a good football coach. Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback. And Tampa Bay, realistically, is only in this playoff hunt because they're in the worst division in all of football. I don't think that they're a good team still, even with their 9 wins. And I think that they find a way, even with upset in the locker room, with dysfunctional coach, with a slew of injuries to top guys, Tampa Bay will still find a way to lose this game. And I'm going to take Philadelphia, even though I hate it. And it would make me very happy to see Tampa win this game and this game alone. I'm going to take Philadelphia for no other reason than the fact that I don't think Tampa Bay holds up against them. As much as I hate it,
Just keep hating.
I'm gonna take Philadelphia.
Uncle Sam changed his pick. Told me earlier he wanted Tampa, but now he's saying Eagles in the under.
God bless him. Well, let's go. This is the big one. Sunday Night Football, 8:15, live from Ford Field. The Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford are coming to town to play our very own Detroit Lions.
Yep.
The Lions are currently a 3-point favorite. The over-under in this game, a whopping 51.5 points. You want to go? You want me to go?
You go.
Okay. I love this Detroit Lions team. I think they have a very dynamic offense. I think they have one of the best running back tandems, if not the best running back tandem in football, right? The defense has made strides this year. Aiden Hutchinson has proven himself that he's better than Kayvon Thibodeau. I love the fact that Uncle Sam's not here to argue with me on that. Alex Anzalone's been playing better as of late. Everything seems to be going well at the right time. Dan Campbell should be a candidate for Coach of the Year at this point. This is the first time in our lifetimes that the Lions have won 12 games. First ever home game at Ford Field for the playoffs. And I can't bring myself to take the Lions in this game. And I've been fighting back and forth all week because I don't want to be like Uncle Sam. I don't want to be that guy who takes Washington against Michigan. I don't want to be the guy who takes Matt Stafford coming back into Ford Field and winning. But unfortunately, I can't get rid of it. I've been convincing myself all week this is different. It's not going to happen. The problem is, in my eyes, it's too poetic for Stafford to come back here and lose that game when it's the biggest football game Detroit has seen probably since before Matt Stafford was even born. I can't do it. I can't do it. Now, if I bring logic into this rather than heart, because my heart's telling me that the gods won't let the Lions win this game, and the gods will give it to Matthew Stafford. If I bring logic into it, I simply think that the issue here is, even if you roll safeties out, even if you have Brian Branch and Gardner Johnson out there, right? I don't think, because we've seen it, CeeDee Lamb, career high against the Lions. And I know he had a 97-yard touchdown before Uncle Sam says it in the chat. He still had 140 yards without it. Last week, Justin Jefferson, 160 yards. With the season that Puka Nacua has had, and at the end of the day, is Cooper Kupp of 2 years ago? No, but he's still Cooper Kupp. Can the Lions corners hold up with those two guys? I don't think that they can. Kieran Williams has been a monster this year. Will the Lions be able to successfully shut two of those three guys down? Right now, that defense, I don't think that they can. And it kills me to say it. Kills me. The Lions have one of the best defenses against the rush. The problem is if they stop Kieran Williams, they've got to find a way to stop Puka, and they've got to find a way to stop Kupp. And if Higbee plays, they're not all too great against tight ends. This game worries me so bad. And that's why all through the playoffs, all through the end of the regular season, I was hoping we wouldn't get this draw, but we did. As much as it sucks, I'm going to take the Rams to cover in this game. I'm going to take them to win. And I hope and I pray and I beg that I am fucking wrong. But I'm going to take the Rams to win this game. And the over-under of 51, I'm going to take the over. I think that the Rams will win this game by a field goal or a touchdown late. And all those times where you saw Stafford win games they shouldn't have won and come back and be clutch, I think he does it one more time at Ford Field. And somehow the Rams win this game and rip our hearts out one last time. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take the Rams to cover. And I'm going to take the Rams to win. My prop bets are as follows. I'm going to take Puka Nacua as an anytime touchdown scorer. And I'm going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown as an anytime touchdown scorer.
What were CeeDee Lamb's totals 2 weeks ago? You said it was like it was 200. Was it 200?
260 yards, I think. It was something fucked up.
200, it was 200 yards, and then last week was Justin Jefferson
160.
160.
CeeDee Lamb, 227 yards and a touchdown.
And Justin Jefferson was similar. How many points did the Cowboys score?
20.
How many points did the Vikings score?
16, I believe.
You just pissed off the wrong person.
No, I'm not pissed because every inch of me. I want to pick the Rams because I genuinely think they could win, number one. Like 2 weeks ago, if you asked me this question, I'm picking the Rams without question 2 weeks ago. Without question. Since then, look at the Rams who they've played. Other than Baltimore, they played Baltimore pretty close. They haven't, and they lost. They lost that game. I'll give them credit against Cleveland. It was Joe Flacco's first game. The Rams haven't really beat anybody good. And yeah, they got these shredders on offense, but the Lions have a bend but don't break defense. Okay, and the Lions have enough defensively and have gotten a lot better defensively to where I think they can easily neutralize the Rams. Easily. Kieran Williams is the player that scares me the most because now Sean McVay does this thing with his offense where he has his receivers blocking, and Kieran Williams is a 3-down, every down back. He can catch passes. He can get into the second level. So pending how you play him, you could be fucked, okay? I am not worried about Cooper Kupp, and I'm not worried about Puka Nacua because the Lions have been getting lit up by receivers all year, and they still won 12 games. And they're at home. They're at home where... yeah, they had a bad loss to the Packers in a game where they had to turn the ball over a shit ton to get there. And yeah, they had a bad loss to Seattle, and it took a lot of injuries to get there. But the Lions are gelling defensively at the right time, in my opinion. Number one. Number two, I love what the Lions have done for the last 2 weeks, especially going into Dallas and doing what they did. They beat Dallas. Let's be honest. They beat the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, okay? And I think this game comes down to turnovers. I think it's whoever turns the ball over less wins. And Matthew Stafford in these big games turns the ball over like fucking crazy no matter what. Which gives me my first of 3 player props, Stafford over 0.5 interceptions. He's going to throw a pick. He's going to be nervous. He's going to be jumpy. He hasn't magically changed to where he plays well in big games. Even when they went to the Super Bowl, he wasn't well. He is a gunslinger. Gunslingers throw the ball in the wrong place a lot of the time, okay? So that's prop number 1.
He's never been on the...
Back to the turnovers. In the Lions' 5 losses this year, they combined for 12 turnovers, and they combined to force 3 turnovers. So they're -9 in that game, in those games. If they protect the ball, which I'm totally anticipating they are going to win this game, they're probably going to win this game with no problem because they are the significantly better team. I don't take that lightly saying that because I know a lot of people disagree. The Lions are significantly better than the Rams. Does that mean this game is not going to be close? Fuck no. This game's going to be close as shit. Okay? But the Lions are more talented. They're better offensively, and they're playing better than the Rams. And I think that they have the better quarterback. And I think the story has been fucking Kelly Stafford and Matt Stafford all week. And I don't want to talk about those people all week. I don't want to do that. No, this is Jerod Goff's revenge game. This is Jerod Goff's homecoming. This is Jerod Goff's time to make a fucking statement. That's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to see a fucking fired up Jerod Goff, and it's going to show. Prop number 2, there's another revenge game for the Lions. It's Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds is going to take advantage of every opportunity he gets. His over-under is 2.5 right now for receptions. I'm taking the over. With no Khalif Raymond, his second greatest safety valve is going to be Josh Reynolds, and you got a banged-up Laporta, who I do think is going to play ultimately. But with no Khalif Raymond, I really love Josh Reynolds over on yards. on receptions. And number 3, this is going to be the Jameson Williams coming out party. I think this is the game where people are like, this is why we drafted that fucker. I think J-Mo is going to fucking pop the fuck off. I wouldn't be shocked if he has 100 yards. The Rams' defensive line is good. Aaron Donald is still Aaron Donald. He's going to cause a lot of problems, but he's going up against 2 All-Pros in Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell, and he's still got to go against Taylor Decker. Mind you, Penei Sewell in like his 5th career game easily got the best of Aaron Donald 2 years ago when they played. But they're young. Their secondary is good, but it's young. Their linebackers are good, but they're young. And Jared Goff is going to pick on those guys like fucking crazy. So I like Stafford over 0.5 interceptions. I like I like Josh Reynolds over 2.5 receptions. And I like Jameson Williams over, I think it's 37.5 yards. I certainly like the over. I'm expecting a big game from J-Mo. I don't want to pick the Lions because every time I do, I jinx them. If I pick them in a big game, they lose. If I don't pick them, they win. It's like Michigan on Monday. There's all these factors telling you, well, if this, and this happens, they're in trouble. No, it was the other way around. If Washington didn't play well, Michigan was going to win. The Rams are remotely slow in this game. They're not talented enough to keep up with the Lions. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. I want to see what they did against good opponents. Yeah, good. You beat the Niners when they were resting a bunch of their starters. Okay? Congrats. What did you do against Philly? What did you do against the Niners when they were playing, guys? I don't like Stafford coming here. I think the moment is too big for him, and the emotions are too big for him. And when the moment is too big for Matthew Stafford, he chokes. And when the moment is too big for Jared Goff, he makes Super Bowls. I'm going with the Lions. I'm going with the over. I think the Lions win. I think the Lions cover. I think they control this game from start to finish with their running game, and I think Jared Goff still finds a way to pass for 3 touchdowns. But I'm going with the Lions. This is our day. This is the day we've been waiting for a long, long, long time. And it goes back to what you said about your heart. It's tailor-made. Stafford's coming back and he's going to fucking end you. This Lions team has bucked all of the tailor-made stories all year. All of the same old Lions stuff. All of the, well, you choked on Thanksgiving, and this happened. Oh, the Cowboys, they got away with the game. This team doesn't care. It's the most resilient Lions team we've ever seen, and I know they're focused, and I know they're going to be more focused than the team in white. And the main reason I like the Lions is because they're wearing their all blues. It's my favorite jersey combination.
The All Blues are fucking awesome.
The All Blues are fire, and they usually play well in the All Blues.
I do love the all gray with the blue helmet, though.
Sick.
It's sick.
It's cool as fuck.
Bruce, what's your thoughts on this game?
Have you guys seen that meme that's been, or not meme, but that video that's been going around? It's the Goff We Trust video by Lions memes.
No, can't say I've seen it, but
Dude, you got to watch it. It's electric. It makes you shiver, okay? I love Jared Goff now. I've loved him for the past 3 weeks.
You wanted to get rid of him for Hendon Hooker 2 weeks ago.
No, I didn't want to get rid of him, okay? I wanted to see what Hendon Hooker was capable of. Stafford has never been on the opposite side of the field in Ford Field with this crowd, and I think he's going to be emotional and rattled, and the Lions are going to win.
Angie made a good comment. He's worried that McVay and Aaron Donald know how to rattle Jared Goff.
They have more reps against Jared Goff than anyone. Wouldn't you say that the Lions have more reps against Matthew Stafford than anyone?
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking. It's a whole different regime, though.
It's a whole different regime for the Rams. Who else is there besides Donald? And I can't even name other guys. Was Fuller there? Was Fuller on the Rams defense then?
No. I
I can't name many. There's not a lot of crossover. And remember, the Lions, a significantly weaker team in the middle of the rebuild, played these guys pretty close in year one under Dan Campbell. This is a different Lions team. You know who else doesn't have a scouting report? Aiden Hutchinson. The Rams have never seen Aiden Hutchinson before, and I'm excited to see the Detroit kid put Stafford on his ass 3 fucking times on Sunday. I'm personally ready for that. I'm here for it.
I hope more than anything in the world you're right. I hope. I can't get it. I can't get it out of my head. I
Then
can't.
everyone agrees with you for what it's worth. The national media all agrees with you. Like everyone thinks the Lions are going to blow this game,
Dan
but
Orlovsky took the Rams.
yeah, it's because he gets on his knees for Stafford.
Yeah, he sucks. Dude.
I needed to see more from the Rams to pick the Rams in this game. They had a great year. They rebounded nicely, but I needed to see them beat quality opponents.
The problem is I didn't like the Rams. I don't like the Rams. It's just, to me, it came down to the matchup, and I just,
You're saying the Puka and Cooper thing is just, it's going to be too much for the Lions.
yeah.
I
Especially, okay,
It's fair.
I'll say this much. Laporta is a massive key in this game. And I think he goes, but he is a massive, massive key in this game. I think he is extremely important. Jerry Jacobs is out. I don't know if that
No James Houston, no Khalif.
is out. John Kaminsky has the flu.
Houston's not playing.
James Houston's not playing.
James Mitchell, the other tight end, is out.
That's a big one. But I think the fact that James Mitchell is out is an indicator that Laporta is going to play. But Brock Wright's coming back.
I don't know. Realistically, unbiased opinion, even if I take my want for the Lions to win out of this, this is going to be my favorite game to watch of the weekend. I can already feel that.
And I think that goes for most of the country. I feel like a lot of people around.
This is the gem of the weekend.
Yeah.
In my
It's going to be my least favorite game to watch the weekend. Unless it turns into that national championship game from Monday night. I mean, this was our week around here. This is the week like I've been waiting for like 2 sports bucket list items in 1 week. Getting a Lions home playoff game and a Michigan. I literally got to see my college win a national championship on Monday, which I've been waiting for so fucking long. And, sometimes things just happen. And 2 things that I've been waiting to see for so long happen in the same week. And I think this is just going to be a culmination of a really good week around here to cement us as the ultimate football state. I think that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay. That's the weekend. And I think that's pretty much the show. I think we can mic drop it on that. Do you have anything you want to add about any of these matchups before we close it out?
No, if you're going to the game, make as much noise as you've ever made in your entire life. Like this is for me, this is once in a lifetime. I'm hoping
Don't wear
there's
a
more.
Stafford jersey.
Please try not to wear a Stafford jersey, but this is once in a lifetime. What's his face? Alex Anzalone brought up a great point. He's like, you guys are great and you're always loud, but don't get loud when they break the huddle. Get loud when the quarterback is walking up to the huddle. That's when you cause problems because they can't hear you. If you're going like leave it all, the Lions are going to leave it all on the field on Sunday. You do the same. Leave it all on the fucking field. That's all I could say. And if you're going like enjoy it, like we don't know. It took a long time to get to this point. Like we don't know when this is going to happen again. I think it will. But this has been a long time in the making. I think it's going to show, and I think it's going to be a really, really, really special night for our city. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping for that.
Same. Really, really hoping. And I hope Tampa wins too.
Yeah. We Green Bay. We'll know going into that game. We'll have the outcome of Green Bay and Dallas. It'll be wrapping up. So we'll know going into that game if the Lions win, if they're able to get a second playoff game next week. And I think that's fantastic.
100%. Bruce, anything to add?
You should go to the game.
Me?
Yeah.
TBD. For me, I'll be honest. I have a couple thoughts on this. One, it's going to be, this is the thing. Win or lose, it's going to be a fucking shit show. Right? There's no occurrence where there's not a shit show. And I don't do well with a lot of people and a lot of traffic and all that. And 2, honest to God, and I'll be the first one to admit it, I haven't earned that. I haven't earned it.
It's a
Haven't earned it.
cop-out.
How's that a cop-out?
That's a cop-out.
I
No,
haven't
I
earned
understand it. I'm not accusing you of this. I don't want anyone in that building that doesn't deserve to be there on Sunday.
I haven't earned it. I might still go.
But I don't know.
I
I think it's weird that you will go
you
to
understand-
New York and watch Aaron Rodgers get his fucking
because that was
face
just
smashed.
entertainment. That was just entertainment. This is like going to see Mass at the Vatican.
Yeah, but
If
you
I
gotta
walked
remember,
into that, I would
you
burst into
last
flames.
year never took the Lions, and this is the first year that you actually were kind of a fan.
Because I'm invested now. I am
Well,
invested
isn't
now.
that-
But you have to
isn't that
understand,
enough?
this game
a
is not for people who are invested now. This game is for people like you who went there and watched them lose fucking 15 games a year, and Zolo who has spent a mortgage to go watch them lose 10 games a year forever. This is for you guys. This isn't for me. I would much rather be comfortable here than slosh through the bullshit to go down there with all of you rabid motherfuckers, win, lose, or draw. If they win and Dallas loses, I'm going to the divisional round, no questions asked. This game, though, you guys go to church. You guys go to church.
All right. That's fair. I'll take it.
Anything else?
Stay warm.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. We will be back on Monday, 3 deep, I promise you, to recap all of these wild card games from this weekend. Enjoy watching them. Playoff football. Hey, there's only a month left of football.
I thought it was a thunderstorm. Thunder snow.
Thunder snow?
Yeah, did you ever see that before? Thunder snow?
Was that thunder snow?
No, I think she's dragging something up.
No.
That was fucking.
That was fucked up.
That was
Either somebody just
outside.
crashed through the house or that was thunder. Thunder snow. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you're listening to us on Apple Music or Spotify, make sure to check us out on YouTube and subscribe so you get notified when we go live, usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 4:30 and 5. Join us in the chat. It is always a great time. Enjoy the weekend. Playoff football, only a month left. Come back Monday so we can break it all back down. Go Lions.
Forward down the field.
Have a great weekend.